Buff Nation
Squad.
For the second time today, Scotty, we are back. It's a DNVR Buffs emergency pod built by our friends over at New Built Construction. When that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there. That's at nubilt.com or hit them up, 720-903-4254. Let them know us, DNVR, sent you. Domata Peko, gone.
How lucky are we, first off, that we get to talk to the people, to Buff Nation, to the DNVR Buffs faithful twice in one day. Yep. What a blessing that is, even if it comes over maybe some unfortunate circumstances. But hey, you mentioned Domata Peko had it going back to the NFL. According to Zach Jackson at our friends over there at Athletic, he has reported that Domata Peko is planning to be hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers as their defensive line coach. Obviously, leaving Coach Prime in Colorado. It's interesting, right? That's another position coach change, I should say, on the defensive side of the ball. He's obviously done quite a bit of work recruiting-wise, right? We've talked a lot on this show about the Polynesian pipeline that was beginning to be built back up. We'll see what that looks like moving forward. It's going to be hard for that to continue in my eyes, but he's doing great work in the recruiting side of things. And the transfers that have committed to Colorado are locked in, right, with only one portal window. His son, Domata Peko Jr., is committed and signed, obviously already on campus, going through winter workouts with the Buffs. But his other son, Joseph Peko, a high school commit, his 2026 class, a defensive lineman, is committed to the Buffs, but is unsigned with signing day on Wednesday, right, Jake? So we'll see what happens. But obviously another domino that has fallen, but we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot to get to. Like, as you said there, with the pipeline, with Joseph Peko, I mean, with Domata Jr. already in the fold there, and then also this is your fourth defensive line coach in 4 years now under Coach Prime. And clearly this is a position that, I mean, again, we talked about it on the show earlier today about Rob Livingston, right? Like, I'm not going to really put too much of what happened last year on him, especially with the staggering missed tackle numbers. And it was kind of the same deal for Coach Peko last year, right? I mean, insane depth issues. I mean, so many injuries on that defensive line. You had some busts out of the transfer portal who just didn't play up to par what they were paid to do. And it all fell apart because you're the first line of resistance, right? So anything that gets through you obviously just looks worse because it's just a calamity of errors at that point. But starting with, obviously, I think the most pressing thing is you need a defensive line coach now, right? Some of the players are kind of locked in at this point. I mean, we'll see if anything happens there. It's just kind of where we're at right now in this day and age where you can just make a stink. I mean, sue the NCAA and go to a judge and get a waiver or whatever, So, but yeah, you need to go and find a defensive line coach. I mean, it's February 2nd. It's not the greatest time for this. And you're, 5-6 weeks away from spring ball. Like, you got to get on this.
No doubt. It'd be interesting to see how they pivot from this, right? From what we know about Coach Prime, he wasn't caught off guard by this, right? He wasn't caught by surprise by this move. And I'm pretty positive, actually, that Coach Prime has a couple options potentially lined up to pivot towards to be this next defensive line coach. I wonder what Damian Lewis is doing right now. That'd be cool to find back. But D. Lou did a hell of a job, obviously, in 2024, now at Miami. But it's going to be interesting. I've seen a couple kind of names floated on the timeline here recently in the wake of this news. I'll kind of dive into. I'm sure we both will over the next couple of days here or the next week or so. Talk to some people, see who pops up, some names that pop up and whatnot. But yeah, it's interesting as well, right? This is a staff now that is garnered some attention from the NFL, from other college football programs, right? Contrary to maybe some belief after what happened last season. We just talked about today, Robert Livingston potentially being in the clear from joining the Dallas Cowboys defensive staff after interviewing with the New Orleans Saints staff last year, the Cowboys this offseason. Obviously, Peko is now leaving for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pete Nako said on 3 reported this weekend that Andre Hart was a name to watch for the Notre Dame linebackers coach job. So this is a staff that for one reason or one way or another is being targeted, by the NFL, by the coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now with it, right? So in terms of names, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some that have been thrown out there. I tried to find his name right now, but we've talked about this guy. I mean, shoot, this is the 4th time we've had to do this, but we've talked about this guy every other time this has been brought up, and that's I wish I had his name, but it's the former Georgia coach, was a former Buff. I'll find it, but like that's a guy who's going to probably be floated out there, and the network is wide, right? Like Coach Prime, as you said, like these coaches keep on, I guess, kind of leaving obviously this position, but I think it's just the network that Coach Prime has and the platform that he has to allow these people to get their shine. And clearly it was tough last year for Coach Peko, but I don't know how you don't pay attention to what he did kind of just now, the last few weeks and months with recruiting. And I know it's different in the NFL. Thank you, Jasmine. Uwuzie Duribe is his name. Yeah, so we'll see which names get floated out there. But it's a symptom of like a healthy program, man. It really is. Like, it sucks for sure. But your coaches are getting promoted. And as Coach Prime will tell you, I mean, you either get elevated or terminated in this business. And it's you've had some terminations for sure, but some guys keep getting elevated too.
Yeah, I mean, once that offer comes through, I mean, Coach Prime is telling him, well, you better take that. You know what I'm saying? You better go be the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line coach. So that's awesome for Domata Peko, right? Because this is somebody who he was coaching, I believe, in the NFL for a little bit and maybe an assistant role with the Cowboys, right, a few years back before joining Colorado. I think did an admirable job, particularly on the recruiting trail throughout his stint. Obviously, he had a video recently. I forget on which platform it was, but he was talking about he was proud of the fact that there are 6, Polynesian guys, currently on this team, which is I think, pretty significant number, relatively speaking. And a few of those guys we have some really high hopes for in 2026 in particular. So, like we mentioned earlier, those transfer guys that came in, they are locked in, right? They're not going anywhere, even with Peko leaving. The only thing, potential ripple effect as it pertains to 2026, we'll have to wait and see what Joseph Peko does on National Signing Day, and see if he signs on that dotted line or who he signs on that dotted line with, I should say. But past 2026, right, depending on who gets hired, the Polynesian pipeline might have been a 1-year stint potentially, which is unfortunate because it started to seem like they're really be gaining some momentum. But I will also say this, right? Respectfully, all due respect, there are better college football defensive line coaches out there, than Domata Peko, respectfully.
Yep.
And now Colorado has an opportunity to go get one of those guys, right? They have an opportunity now to go upgrade their coaching at that position, which could be a blessing in disguise. We'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to that point about Joseph Peko too, like, it's not like Coach Peko went to insert any college team, right? And he can all of a sudden just sign, and now you just lost another player, a young player. Like, he was between North Carolina. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a push for sure. Right. But also, I mean, his brother's here. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and Domata Jr. seemed pretty locked in. I mean, there was some noise about whether Domata Peko was going to be back with the team coaching the defensive line anyway, whether it was another move or Coach Prime wanted to go a different direction, whatever it may be. But Domata Peko Jr. seemed to be locked in no matter what. It just seemed like he really wanted to be a Buff, right? And
sure.
He's obviously made quite an impact already. I mean, an impact might be strong, but he stood out, right, in the early days of winter conditioning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll find out Wednesday when the signing period opens. Chidera Uzo Duribe is the person I was thinking of. He's been at Georgia since 22. He's now their outside linebackers coach. But he's coached defensive lines at TCU, SMU. He was a GA at Colorado in 2016, 2018. That's when he got his coaching career kind of started too. And obviously played at CU 2010, 2013. So I'm sure. But look, I mean, Coach Prime, man, in these situations, just don't underestimate him.
Yeah.
His network and his pipeline across the entire sports universe stretches far and wide. So
Sure.
there's going to be a wide net cast, and I'm sure there's going to be some names that, really pique our interest here in the next few days.
Yeah. I think Coach Prime relishes these opportunities in these situations to go flex his muscles a little bit and, show people who he can go grab and what his connections, his Rolodex of connections is really like. You know what I'm saying? Because, I think when Peko was hired, it kind of came out of left field a little bit to a lot of people within the fan base and outside of it. And a lot of people were impressed, like, oh, this NFL guy for sure. Coaching in the NFL, obviously played in the NFL, 15-year vet. And again, that they have an opportunity to upgrade now, to even have a bigger splash hire potentially, to get the fan base even more ignited ahead of this 2026 season. So that's exciting, no doubt. I'm really interested to kind of dive more into who this next hire could be, talk to some folks and see what people are saying, what they're talking about.
Totally. I mean, tomorrow I'm sure we'll have a few names to at least throw out there. A few more names, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the Polynesian pipeline, though, I mean, it is tough. As you said, who knows? Maybe it's ended just as it's getting started. But also, I mean, you're going to have a healthy amount of them in there right now. And clearly, I mean, Coach Prime, I think he was on the morning run with Neely and Chico kind of talking about this not too long ago. And he did the, hands to the sky, dear God, like, thank you thing. So, I mean, it's clearly something I think that was a bit of emphasis. Obviously, with Coach Peko, it's a bit easier. But
yeah,
the pipeline is open. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, word of mouth, too, with those guys. It's a very tight-knit community. I'm sure if this season goes well, those guys play really well. Word will get around that, Colorado is kind of a cool place to go to. I mean, you don't just have to go to BYU and Utah and, all those other schools. So, I don't know what thoughts you have on that still, but.
No, I mean, I think you said it. I think I said it as well. Like, it's just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, right? At the end of the day, this all is played out on the field, right? And to the point that you kind of made at the end there, right? If the Polynesians who are here now have success and they talk about amongst their community and put it out there that Colorado was a place that they're thriving at, that they're happy at, that they feel connected at, then that word of mouth, right? That's as potent as anything.
Yes.
Right? In terms of a recruiting tactic. So Coach Peko might have only been here for a year, but he might have done some things and laid some groundwork here for this program that could be felt for a long time, which could be really monumental depending on how things go. But we'll obviously be tapped into signing day as it approaches on Wednesday, see if anything major happens on that front. But I'm excited to we got something else to talk about, right? There's another pretty important piece of this coaching staff and football program that is vacant, so to speak. So I'm excited to dive more into it this week.
Totally. I guess just final word here from me too. I mean, can't fault Coach Peko at all, as you said earlier in the show too. I mean, look, I'm sure he's getting a raise, and this is obviously a step up. I mean, if you're going to the NFL, go ahead.
And somebody mentioned earlier in the chat, I didn't think about it. Like, it makes sense, right? The Steelers just hired Mike McCarthy to be their new head coach, and I believe that Peko, when he was right before joining Colorado, was in Dallas when Mike McCarthy was the head coach there. So they probably had ties, and Mike McCarthy probably made that call, like, hey, I'm assembling the staff. I thought of you. What's up? You trying to slide? And it was hard to say no to that. And I don't think Coach Prime, like I said earlier, would deter Peko from doing that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And And look, I think this makes the retaining Coach Livingston even more important now, right? Because that pipeline, like that Bengals pipeline, is obviously paid off, right? The relationship with Mike Zimmer that Coach Prime has is paid off to get Robert Livingston, but that also eventually led to Coach Peko too, right? Of course he's going to hit up Zim, and Liv is just in the building, so I'm sure that was a pretty natural kind of way that things worked out last offseason to get Peko on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the same type of pipeline that you see for this job too. Coach Zimmer coached a really long time, man, and there's no telling who he knows around the league, around the country, and how much he'd be willing to help out Coach Prime find that next defensive line coach at CU.
Different from what you expect to happen. What would you like the archetype, of this next defensive line coach to be? Would you like it to be a guy with more of a college background, or a guy like coming maybe from the NFL with some experience?
It's a good question. Obviously, the NFL stuff just works so well with, D-Lou last year. I mean, I thought Salinesi did Salinesi, rest in peace, by the way. Coach Sal, a couple of years ago, he did really well with the pieces that he was given. I think you want more of a college guy, just especially with like Coach Livingston, right? Like, it's clear that I don't think he's going to be around much longer. Like, I think a lot of us were either good or bad, maybe surprised that he came back this year and that the Cowboys didn't hire him away here recently. And you're not going to be able to, I think, count on him coming back every year, right? It's only a matter of time before he moves on. So I think you need to find someone with those college, high school ties to help you out with recruiting. Especially if the future is kind of uncertain at that position now with Domata Peko gone, but you never know what's going to happen with Robert Livingston either. So
yeah, it's interesting. Which CFB 26 architect you want? That tactician, that recruiter, or that what's the third one?
Motivator. That's what I want.
You want a motivator for sure.
That's who D-Lou was. Yeah.
No, that's valid.
Yeah. What about you though?
Man, I mean, for D-line specifically, it's hard not to go with the motivator. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, a recruiter, it's hard to argue with the value that a true recruiter would. Imagine you bring like a Brennan Marion of a defensive line, with his Rolodex of past connections and whatnot. I don't know. I guess a kind of a blend of that, a mend of those kind of worlds, so to speak. But
sure. Yeah. Totally. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some names that pop up that kind of just blow us away, honestly.
Yeah.
They can get him. So, yeah, you have any final thoughts? Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here, brother. We'll talk to the people some more tomorrow. Have a special guest on the show. Make sure y'all tap in. Wink, wink, wink. But yeah, we'll talk more about this. Have some names potentially, but yeah.
For sure. Shout out to Dion, man, for rolling with us today and getting this thing off the ground. Appreciate you, brother. So
appreciate you, man. Going crazy, coming in clutch.
Chat, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk a lot more about this, and as Scotty said, special guests. So stay tuned. School Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.